How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the garage. It's been 2 weeks for you, but it's been like 2 hours for me. I had some lunch, and so let's get rolling. Let's get back to working on this this mid-length we're working on. Let's pull it down right here. So in the last episode, you saw me shape this guy, and he's still looking very solid. Very happy with it so far. And so now we're going to glass it. The plan is with this board, I think, with the goal of trying to make as much money on this board as possible, I'm going to do a resin tint. I'm thinking blue. I've got a couple other colors I might throw in as well. Not as well, instead of. But I'm thinking blue. So to do that, we're going to have to tape off the top so we can get a nice clean cut lap all the way around the edges. And then let's roll out some fiberglass, mix up some resin, and let's go. Like I said, we've got to tape up this board. What I use here is this is my scribe tool that I used, you saw in the last episode, that I used to mark the rail bands. But now I just have a dowel put in here that I've sharpened to a tip. And that way when I mark the board, it doesn't leave an actual mark, it just leaves a little bit of indentation. And that way there's no pencil marks, nothing on the board to actually stay there. There's a little bit of a dent that's gonna get covered up by the resin and the fiberglass. So you won't notice it, but that's what I'm gonna do. And let's get taping. If you're curious what I'm doing here, this is an extra layer of fiberglass you put on the tail. It reinforces where the fins go. This is important just because the fins get a lot of pressure from when you're turning the surfboard. And so we add extra layers of fiberglass just to make sure that it's nice and secure. You always want to do this layer on the bottom underneath the full sheet of fiberglass. That way it doesn't float around when you put resin on it. There's a number of different designs that people do here just to make it look a little more interesting. A very simple one is just a straight line across. That kind of comes to a point. Another one, other people do little scallops that come across. I don't know, what do you guys think I should do? I'm probably just gonna go with a simple little diamond shape. It's simple, classic, and looks good. So, got the fiberglass draped over the board now. This is 6-ounce fiberglass, so it's the heavier stuff that we use for surfboards. I guess you could go 8 or even 10 ounce for some long boards, but for this board, 6 ounce is perfect. It'll be nice and heavy glass that'll last a long time. Now I'm gonna just cut some relief cuts here in the tail as well as in the nose, and then we're ready to mix up some resin. So set up here with resin now. This board is gonna take roughly like 120-ish ounces or so of just laminating resin for the deck and the bottom. So that's why I've got my 2 buckets here. I'm gonna mix up the color at the same time, and that way the color is gonna be an exact match from deck to bottom. I decided to just go with blue here, which I've got. I'll mix it in, I'll kind of swap them back and forth between the buckets just to make sure that the color is evenly saturated between both. And I'm gonna set one aside, save that one for when I glass the deck, and then I'm gonna use this one for the bottom right now. Let's dig into it. Gonna mask up because you don't wanna mess with this stuff. It can be a little bit nasty. All right, everyone, it's the next day and our bottom lamination is cured. We're good to go. And it's looking good, I'm happy with it. My color it's just old, right? And so it didn't dissolve completely in the mix. And so we've definitely got some streaks of darker blue, but it looks kind of cool, I like it. I mean, it kind of gives it like a little bit of a really soft swirl effect, which, you know, I mean, professional surfboard glassers will be like, oh, that's a mistake, you shouldn't do that. But, you know, I think it looks cool and it's ultimately I'm making it, so it's my call. But I'm gonna tape off the bottom, flip it over, glass the deck. Should be a good time. Let's get rocking. Okay, everyone, we are making good progress. Both the deck and the bottom are laminated. I went ahead and the last clip you saw me hot coat the deck, so that's good. That is good to touch now, good times. Next step is routing in some fin boxes. So to make this board as universally surfable as possible, I decided to go with a 2+1 setup. That means there's going to be one large center fin and then 2 smaller fins on either side with the side bites. At this step of the process, we're only going to install the side fins, the side bites. So we'll get those set in, then we're gonna hot coat the bottom, and then we're gonna come back in and drill out the center fin box. So let's keep rocking. I've got a fun Saturday in front of me. Let's make some more progress. Okay everyone, in the last couple clips you saw me install the fin boxes, glass them in, and hot coat the bottom of the board. That's all good to go now. With this part done, now we install the single fin box right here in the center. Got it right here, look at that. So that'll go right here. So pretty simple, straightforward. I've got a routing jig, a routing plate here. We'll get it on the board, route out the hole for it, and then glass it in. Very similar to how we did these ones, although this guy doesn't require fiberglass on top like the feature fins boxes do. So we'll get to there, and then it's gonna be a lot of sanding. So I'll cut to you after I finish all the sanding. All right, everyone, so we just finished sanding the board, and for lots of reasons, but mainly because I'm not a professional surfboard builder, I like to finish my boards with a second hot coat on it, either that or a gloss coat, but for this one I'm gonna do a second hot coat. That'll fill up any sort of over sanding I've done, any burn throughs, and also just give us one final nice clean surface in case there's a spot where there's a little bit of hole before, who knows what it might be. So I'm gonna prep that and do the second hot coat on this board, but you've already seen me do the first one. It's the exact same thing. So let's just jump to the finished product. See you then. And that's a wrap. I'm super excited with how this board turned out. It's been at least a year since I've shaped a board beginning to end, and I couldn't be happier with how this went through. There's a couple mistakes here and there that I as a shaper will pick out really easily, but they don't affect performance at all. This will be a great board to whoever buys it. Which, speaking of, here, I don't know what the total is, but editor me will figure it out, is how much I spent on shaping this board. That is a certain amount of money. I think, I don't know what the exact total is right now off the top of my head, but it should be anywhere around 300 to 350, which, you know, prices of everything have gone up. I feel like 2 or 3 years ago, this exact board would have cost $250 to $275, and here we are almost $100 more expensive. But that comes with fins. That'll be ready to surf to whoever buys it. If I might try to see if I can find a leash thrown around here in this garage that I can include it as well. Ultimately, what I think I'm going to do with this guy is I'll probably end up posting it on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace for, I'm going to try and shoot my shot at $450 for a brand new surfboard. Someone of my shaping experience, I think that's a good price for the consumer as well as for me. I'll make around $100, $120, and for putting in about, I don't know, 10, 12 hours into this board, you know, I'm making about half a minimum wage here in California. So, you know, to keep the hobby going, to make a video for all of you guys, I think that's well worth it. This board is going to go to its new owner. I'm not going to record that because I think that's kind of weird if I just record some random stranger coming up here to buy a surfboard, and I don't want it to feel fake, like I feel like most YouTubers do, where they just have a buddy come and act like they buy it. I want to do this for real. So here you'll see some more information of how much I actually sold it for. Hopefully I made $100. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more content like mine, maybe follow, drop a subscribe, maybe a like. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget, stay stoked.